From these two graphs, we can see that Christianity and Catholicism are declining in the U.S., and it's getting worse by every generation. Hi, I'm Zach Maier, and this is my video project titled The Pitfalls of Religious Education in 21st Century America for Confirmation Through the World Through My Eyes program. In Christianity at large in America, the rates of belief and association are declining among the population, and I'm trying to figure out why this is. There are many factors likely, and I can't possibly cover them all in a short video, but preliminarily, it seems that the main reasons for this decline seem to be due to the lack of engagement and the rise of secularism and atheism in America. I'll be trying to prove this video by using my own personal story and others' stories to figure out what is going on with religion in modern America. Personally, I've considered myself since elementary school as a baptized Catholic, as non-affiliated. If you would have asked me when I was 11, I would have said that I was an atheist. This was because I am very scientifically minded, and I believe that evolution and the Big Bang were proof that there was no God. The fact that I was also not involved with the church except for a few days of the year harmed my growth into the faith. With no teaching on God, I was lost and did not know Christ besides by his name. Until the diagnosis of a terminal brain cancer in my grandfather, a patron of resurrection, Kenneth Maier, I had no care for God or his church, but I had always had existential questions and thoughts. This diagnosis worked in me, and when he died, the thought of death really hit me. Do we really just go into a state of nothingness for the rest of eternity, or is there an afterlife? After months of grieving because I believed I saw death as the ultimate end, I decided that I needed to find out if there is a God and who is he. Jeremiah 29:13 says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." Unaware of this verse, or any verse for that matter, I started to read as much as I could, and I earnestly sought out God. This was done by my reading of books like the Bible, The Return of the God Hypothesis, and The Case for Christ. I also spent a large part of my free time watching videos like debates between atheists and theists and answers to questions about the Christian faith. I determined, after extensive and intense scrutiny, that there was very likely a God, and this was likely Christ. And there was no claim that came even close to that outside of the Abrahamic religions. And even though I initially had the strongest aversion to the Catholic Church, and I didn't want to touch it with a 20-foot pole, I knew that it was the truth and the fullness of the Christian faith. In July of 2021, over this period around 7 months, I decided that I needed to get into the Catholic faith because what good would it do me if all I did was recognize it? I have asked some of my friends questions about what they believe and why they believe. We will now hear their stories.
Hi. Hi. I do not believe in God, nor do I believe in any God. I had a fair amount of exposure to the church, especially when I was younger. Up until 4th grade, I attended a Catholic church, or a Catholic school. However, my family was Lutheran, and we attended a Lutheran church. Since I was so young, and I haven't really been back a whole lot since around 4th, 5th grade, it was kind of hard for me to grasp at the time. And it was more so just something I had to go do before NFL games started on Sundays. But I remember even from a pretty young age, I asked a lot of questions or wondered why things were the way they were, and why that is why it is. My involvement in both the church and the school was, like I said, just kind of hard for me to understand because I was so little. But it at times felt a bit forced upon me. And so why do I believe what I believe? I think of myself as a pretty evidence-driven person, like facts and data-driven person, and it's hard for me to believe something without evidence, and a lot of my opinions are formulated on what has the most evidence, the most data to back it up. And in this case, that doesn't happen to be that of any God. So that is why I believe what I believe. I'm not a very spiritual or emotion-driven person. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Brian Gerbers. Do I believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. What church am I involved with? Well, I'm involved with Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church. I go to church and I attend religious education. And I believe in God because pretty much because like I always thought there was like something missing from my life, and when I started getting closer with God, that thing kind of like I guess filled the hole in my heart. So I think God has helped me in a lot of ways. That's why I believe in God.
What we can draw from these videos is that although Christianity still has a stronghold on the U.S. and its citizens, it is fading away with each generation that comes. This, as we can see from the first video and chart, may be due to secularism rather than the conversion to other religions. What needs to be addressed is secularism and disbelief, and this problem needs to be remedied. The church needs to recognize and address this problem. Something needs to happen, otherwise millions of souls will be lost. We are faced with a grim and true reality that we don't always want to hear, but that is that our eternal destiny is at stake by the actions of our everyday life. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. Matthew 7:13. Thank you.